When you think of the Flash, you likely think of how fast he can go. Everything for the Flash feels like it's a race, and there is a lot of foot racing in the comics, so there's obviously a reason for this. But there's more to this hero and more that makes him the unstoppable machine that many know him to be in the comics. Whether it's Barry Allen or Wally West, many different Flashes have extra abilities tied to the Speed Force that make the character one of the most powerful in the entire DC universe. Today we're going to take a look at some of these abilities that you may not initially think of when it comes to the famous Speedster, as we count down the top 10 superpowers you never knew the Flash had. And be sure to head over to our new Top 10 Central and give them a sub. Do it for me. Pretty please? Alright, let's get counting. Number 10. Speed Force Aura. Well, you may know that the Flash can move insanely fast, allowing him to do a wide variety of wacky things. To be honest, what many don't often seem to think about is just how he manages it. After all, traveling at the speeds at which Barry, Wally, or Bart travel at is a sure way to end up on fire in regards to how physics, well, should work. So how come that doesn't happen? It's just imagined away, right? Because it's a comic book? Well, yes and no. While comics don't often address this potential issue, the truth is there is an in-comic reason for how the Flash can manage to go so fast and still stay safe and, not combust. The Speed Force protects those who are connected to it by creating a protective barrier around them. In other words, he's wearing an invisible speed shield at all times, which keeps him safe. You can't see it, but it's there. Number 9. Enhanced Intelligence. Not everything is best treated as a race, and yet for the Flash it's hard to not treat everything that way. This superhero is built for speed, from his toes right up to his brain. That's right, not only can he move fast, but he can also think super fast as well, making him quite the intellect and bringing a new meaning to the term fast thinker. Get it? When truly concentrating, his fast-acting brain can be used to almost give him future vision, allowing him to see multiple possibilities and imagine their outcomes in an instant. With a brain that fast, I've always been surprised that he hasn't quit the Force and tried to become an improviser instead. That'd be really useful if you were an improviser, thinking on your feet like that. Although it is obvious in the comics, based on some of the Flash's choices, that this isn't an ability he always utilizes. If it had been, Flashpoint probably never would have happened. Number 8. Speed Borrowing. Wait a minute, Amanda. Borrowing? Don't you mean stealing? And isn't that a villain ability? Well, yes and no. While Godspeed is a villain based solely around the ability to feed off another speedster's speed, the Flash has also revealed this to be a useful ability for the good guys. Wally West has used this ability before, and this ability doesn't have to harm those he borrows from either. Really, what is happening when the Flash absorbs another being's speed is he's simply taking in any kinetic energy that the target has built up, allowing the Flash's own stores to be overcharged and resulting in an even faster Flash momentarily. I'll just take some of that speed and use it for this. You can build up more speed later. You're fine. Number 7. Phase through objects. The Flash can move through solid material. His speed abilities allow him to vibrate on a molecular level at a high enough rate and with enough control over his body that he can actually slide his molecules in between the space of other atoms. Atoms themselves are mostly thought to be empty space, and this is the fact that this ability is based on. The Flash simply slides his atoms in between another object's atoms, phasing through it. The crazy thing is he can transfer his ability to another object. Barry Allen once used his phasing ability to save an entire plane and all of its passengers from a collision. Pretty impressive. Just phase everything. Phase this whole building. Number 6. Packs a punch. What you might be surprised by is how strong the Flash can be. Well, while moving fast anyways. The Flash himself is not known for strength, but as physics teaches us, a fast moving object hitting a slow moving object can create a huge impact, though often it is the object moving fast that will feel it more. Look at something falling at a high velocity down to earth. The ground isn't often the one that gets hurt, right? It's the object crashing into it that gets hurt. Or look at cars that have collided with trees. Most often the car is wrapped around an otherwise unchanged tree, especially if the tree is large and thereby more grounded and less likely to move. So running into a wall is usually not advised when it comes to basic physics. Unless you are the Flash, who can move so fast that he can apparently just run through a wall. In the episode Divided We Fall from the Justice League Unlimited animated series, Wally West's Flash shows us just how strong the Speed Force made him when he gained speed running around the world in order to smash into Lex Luthor and Brainiac, who were merged at the time. Smashing into them at top speed caused the deadly duo to separate, and ultimately ended up in them being defeated. Wally West almost phased away in that Speed Force, but people were like, nah, come back, Wally, come on. Number 5. Fly. Sort of. More like fancy falling, really. Barry Allen can move his body and limbs so fast that he can create what are known as speed vortexes. These can be used to help direct and cushion his landing when falling from up high. And Barry can also use these speed vortexes to push objects. It's basically like a directional tornado. If you want to see him use it for fancy falling, feel free to check out The Flash Volume 4 issue 26, where he uses it after bailing out of an airplane. So wait, does this ability make Flash a low-key airbender? That's what I want to know. Like super low-key. We're not talking Aang levels, but pretty fancy still. Number 4. Lightning bolts. Well, you may think that the artists are just looking for something to symbolize the Flash's speed when they draw him with little crackles of electricity or lightning around him. The truth is, they are likely, well, they're just that, an artistic representation of the Speed Force. You're right. That's all there. However, in CW's The Flash, they translate to so much more and actually become another power that the Flash can harness and use. The Flash has been shown using this ability to revive teammates like a defibrillator, or more commonly to attack enemies with, evoking Zeus as he appears to just hurl lightning at those who would oppose him. This power has recently also appeared in the newest Flash volume, so it's no longer just fancy art, now it's a thing. The newer incarnation of Wally, who later got retconned into being Wallace West, a cousin to the original Wally West, appeared to have lightning powers as well. So ha! Now it is a comic book ability. I tricked you. You were tricked. Number 3. Give life meaning. So the anti-life equation was a big part of DC when Darkseid, who had been searching for it, finally got his hands on the formula in the events of Final Crisis. The storyline saw the anti-life equation, which has the ability to basically zap the meaning out of life, broadcast across all of Earth, effectively enslaving everyone on the planet and depressing the heck out of them. What could possibly break this horrid mathematical spell? Why, a kiss from Barry Allen, of course. I'm not kidding. When the anti-life equation has hold over Iris West, Barry comes in and knocks it out of her with a simple, Speed Force fueled kiss. Because the Speed Force is also pure life energy, ergo the opposite of anti-life. Also, the anti-life equation is terrifying. Can we just talk about that? It's basically depression in math form. Why am I not surprised that it's in math form? Math always makes me depressed. Number 2. Time travel. During Flashpoint, we got to see just how powerful the Flash really is. In this story, Barry Allen goes so fast that he successfully goes back in time, in an attempt to save his mother from being killed by the villain Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne. Of course, we don't discover that Barry did this till later, as he wakes up in a completely different timeline where he is depowered as a result and appears to be the only one aware of all that has just changed. Flashpoint also wasn't just the beginning of New 52, but can also be somewhat looked at as the event that was responsible for DC's rebirth as well. Barry Allen's ability to time travel as the Flash is just one of many reasons why the Flash is considered one of the most powerful characters in the DC universe. Real talk. He's the Doctor Who of the DC universe. Number 1. Speed Scouts. Bart Allen's Flash can produce duplicates of himself, that's right. So if you've ever wished you could be in multiple places at once, what you could really just be wishing for is just that you were the Flash. These Speed Scouts or duplicates move forwards and backwards through time and are mentally linked to Bart. They are physical manifestations and as such can even interact with objects or people. Once they return, they can report back any findings to the original Bart. The dangerous thing though is because they are so linked to Bart, they can also negatively affect him as well if they are harmed, even sending Bart Allen into a coma when one of his Speed Scouts was destroyed. So as powerful as this ability is, it also comes with some pretty high risks too, which is why you don't see Bart use it that often, that we started using it as impulses. He's been using it for a while. But then he was like, nah, too dangerous. I'm good. Thank you so much for watching, Nerd Squad. I hope you learned a new ability of the Flashes. How does one say flashes, but plural? What are some abilities that didn't make the cut that the Flash has and that you find remarkable? Who is your favorite Flash? What professions do you think would be the perfect day job for the Flash, other than working on the Force? Let us know in the comments below. And speaking of comments, it's time to turn to some comments from one of our latest videos, Top 10 People Starfire Hooked Up With. Mr. Wolfchamp commented, "It's ironic that Nightwing talks about how his morals won't allow him to go along with Starfire's polyamorous customs, but he would later go on to cheat on Starfire with Barbara, and then right after that, hand Barbara a wedding invitation. She didn't take it well. I mean, who would? I personally think maybe Barbara and Starfire should just date each other and just cut Dick out, cause he can really be a dick sometimes. Not all the times, but that was a pretty rude move. Don't do that, Nightwing, stop it. Poor Babs." Alexander Souza says, "Amanda would make an adorable Starfire cosplayer." Oh, thank you. I do love Starfire's positive energy. She would be a fun one. And finding the right contacts for that would be really fun. I love shopping for cosmetic contacts, even though I'm really terrible at putting contacts in my eyeballs. I'm really bad at that. And that is all the time we have for comments today, Nerd Squad. Be sure to comment below for your chance to get featured in a future video. And remember to like, sub, and ring our bell on the way down there. I love it when you ring that bell. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I'm your host Amanda McKnight, reminding you to stay nerdy, YouTube.